as Les Miserables as Lee Marvin.
Legalized marijuana in Canada. In a 2005 episode of The Simpsons, Ned Flanders traveled to Canada and met his cheerful Canadian doppelganger, who offered him some legal marijuana with the line, "Would you like to puff on a reefer?" At the time, this was played for laughs, as recreational cannabis was still illegal in Canada. Fast forward to 2018, and the prediction became a reality when Canada officially legalized recreational marijuana across the entire country. This historic move made Canada one of the first major nations to embrace cannabis legalization on a national scale. Reflecting the cultural shift The Simpsons had humorously foreshadowed.
Hey, would you like to puff on a reeferino? It's legal here.
They warned me Satan would be attractive. Let's go!
By 2025, Canada's cannabis businesses have flourished, dispensaries are thriving, and a booming market has generated international conversations about substance policy reform. The other episode touched on affordable healthcare, as characters traveled across the border into Canada for cheaper medicine.
Today, Mounties busted a major American drug smuggling ring. Former U.S. astronaut Homer Simpson was taken into custody.
A comment that rings even more true to the current debate of healthcare costs and accessibility. What was once merely an mutual evolution, just when you thought it couldn't get better, the next one will blow your mind.
No drinking in public. Hey, where'd it go?
Airplane restaurants. In a 1998 episode of The Simpsons,
Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad!
Homer and Marge's anniversary plans took a humorous turn when they ended up dining at Up and Buffet, an airplane-themed restaurant. The quirky eatery featured turbulent simulations and meals served in airplane-style bath bags, turning the concept of dining into a parody of air travel. While this seemed like a playful gag at the time, it has since become a reality as airplane-themed restaurants have emerged worldwide.
Sorry, we were only hired to park cars.
Wow! This is the best anniversary ever!
By 2025, repurposed airplanes will be hosting unique dining experiences, ranging from fast food to gourmet meals, with some venues even offering first-class seating and flight-inspired ambience. Airplane restaurants have caught the eye of diners interested in novel dining options in enormous jets in other parts of the world. What was a satirical idea on The Simpsons has become a worldwide phenomenon, providing diners with an unforgettable way to experience a meal while indulging in the nostalgia of air travel.
We don't need to go on a trip. We'll just wait for the killer bees to come to us.
Without the turbulence. Here again, the show's eerie knack for predicting where some offbeat ideas might arrive by the mainstream took its long-standing cultural relevance and observational prowess for a victory lap. Gym mat food. In a classic episode of The Simpsons, budget cuts at Springfield Elementary
Shredded newspapers add much-needed roughage and essential inks.
led Principal Skinner to serve students lunches made from shredded newspapers and gym mats.
Besides, you didn't notice the old gym mats.
There's very little meat in these gym mats.
What seemed like an absurd exaggeration became disturbingly real in 2014, when it was revealed that some major fast food chains were using azodicarbonamide, a chemical found in yoga mats and gym mats, as an additive in their bread. This shocking discovery caused concerns about food safety and transparency. The year is 2025, yet the debate over food additives endures, influencing consumer awareness and regulatory frameworks alike.
How do you expect us to teach with these supplies? Well, this pointer's so old it's worn down to a nub.
Consumers are paying increasingly close attention to what is in their food, with calls for cleaner labels and natural ingredients. The Simpsons' satirical take on so-called gym mat food foreshadowed the burgeoning discussion around processed foods and corporate practices in the world of nutrition. Although Principal Skinner's food cost-cutting technique was not intended to be taken seriously,
See if we can't put an end to this strike fuss, huh? Mrs. Kerbapo, why don't you begin?
it's a reminder that food production shortcuts can cause public health. Episode Whacking Day. Springfield's residents gathered for a bizarre town tradition of hunting and clubbing snakes. While it was portrayed as a satirical critique of mob mentality and senseless traditions, reality has mirrored this in surprising ways. Starting in 2013, Florida launched its annual Python Challenge, a real-life snake hunting event aimed at controlling the population of invasive Burmese pythons. Participants are incentivized with cash prizes to capture or slay these snakes, which are wreaking havoc on local ecosystems. By 2025, the event has grown into a major competition, drawing hundreds of participants and significant public attention. The similarities between The Simpsons and reality are uncanny. Just as Springfield's Whacking Day turned into a spectacle, Florida's Python Challenge has transformed into a competitive sport, with participants trying to catch the most snakes in a limited time.
People of Springfield, Whacking Day is a sham!
One contestant in 2022 caught 28 snakes and won a $10,000 prize. The Python Challenge has an environmental impact, thanks to the ecological harm due to invasive species, and the similarities with the show's tongue-in-cheek approach to snake hunting show how television comedy can sometimes reflect real life in strange ways, combining absurdity with reality. Grease thefts. In The Simpsons episode, Lard of the Dance, Homer and Bart dive into the quirky world of grease theft, attempting to make quick money by stealing grease from places like Krusty Burger and the school cafeteria.
When you want grease, go to the source. Good old Krusty Burger.
What starts as a humorous hustle spirals into chaos when they clash with a mafia-like grease company. While the premise seemed absurd at the time, it has since become a bizarre reality. In 2012, reports of grease theft surged across the US as thieves target the problem by 2025, as biodiesel fuel continues to be in high demand. As Homer and Bart learned on that memorable drive through the Golden Arches, gangsters are cashing in on this overlooked commodity, targeting fast food joints like McDonald's. The Simpsons' satirical take on this niche crime has been eerily prescient, showing how the most outrageous ideas can come to fruition in the real world.
My God, you're greasy.
Mr. Maruka, help!
What was once a diverting subplot appears to have become a curious case of life imitating art. Grease theft has turned into a genuine and ongoing issue. Old fan mail. In The Simpsons episode Brush with Greatness, Ringo Starr is shown responding to fan mail
Sally, in response to your letter of December the 12th, 1966,
that had been sitting unanswered for decades, including a letter Marge sent him in high school. This humorous nod to delayed celebrity correspondence seemed like pure fiction at the time. However, a strikingly similar event occurred in 2013 when Paul McCartney received a tape from fans that had been sent to him back in 1963. After 50 years, McCartney responded to the fans, with the BBC helping to facilitate the long-awaited reply. This real-world parallel brought The Simpsons' seemingly whimsical concept to life, bridging the gap between nostalgia and modern connections. This trend of rediscovered fan mail isn't new either. In fact, taking off by 2025, people began finding hard copy letters and messages and then contacting celebrities with decades to spare. Like Ringo in the episode,
P.S. Forgive the lateness of my reply.
Mr. Starr, tea and crumpets.
Just set it over there.
Sir.
some stars take time to respond to those long-forgotten messages, spurring heartwarming moments of reconnection. What began as a cheeky subplot has turned into a mirror of real-world dynamics, in which digital archiving and fresh interest in past interactions have reignited the memory of old flames. The move from a funny premise to a relatable reality once again demonstrates the ability that The Simpsons have to capture the human experience through the years. Hover cars. In various episodes, The Simpsons envisioned a futuristic world where hover cars were a common sight, effortlessly gliding above the ground. At the time,
What are you doing? Keeping Lisa from destroying her life.
companies are testing prototypes of flying and hovering cars, using innovations like air pressure systems and vertical takeoff mechanisms to transform urban mobility. While we're not yet seeing the smooth, sci-fi-inspired hovercars depicted in the show, significant progress is being made, bringing this once fantastical idea within reach. From legacy automakers to startup companies, innovators are helping to expand the possibilities of transportation technology moving forward, building solutions to problems like safety, efficiency, and infrastructure. And several prototype flying vehicles are in the works. boasting successful tests for something as basic as hovering or flying at low altitudes. The Simpsons' take on a hovercar future mirrors the persistence of society's interest in imagining how we move around, blending creativity with technological ambition. With the prospect of hovercars moving from fiction to reality, the show's combination of frivolity and futurism prompts us to consider how quickly those innovations can take over our daily routines. Curling gold medal. In a Simpsons episode, the US men's curling team unexpectedly wins Olympic gold, defeating Sweden in a dramatic match. At the time, this storyline was purely comedic, as curling was not a sport the US was traditionally known for excelling in. However, in 2018, this unlikely prediction came true when the US men's curling team, led by John Schuster,
Team USA heads to the gold medal match. But wait a minute, Marge Simpson looks hurt.
Achieved a stunning 10-7 victory over Sweden in the Winter Olympics. It marked the first ever curling gold with accurate predictions of the future.
Demonstration gold, our first and only medals of these entire Olympics.
The victory not only lifted the profile of curling in the United States, but also demanded attention for a sport that had long been reliant on existing on the world stage's periphery. The episode's prophecy, which aired years in advance of the real-life event, speaks to the series' uncanny knack for tracking improbable but historic moments in sports. If any American sports team ever deserved a medal, it is the US curling team, whose improbable win may be the most talked about and surprise Olympic triumph in history, demonstrating that anything that happens, in reality, can be seen as a possibility, as imagined on The Simpsons. Economic collapse. In a Simpsons episode, Homer loses his job at the nuclear plant, sparking a chain of events that plunges his family into financial disaster. Later, Lisa becomes president and is tasked with addressing the aftermath of a chaotic administration, including fixing a devastated budget and guiding a nation in turmoil. What once seemed like an exaggerated storyline now feels disturbingly relevant as 2025 approaches. The world is grappling with significant economic challenges, including inflation, mass layoffs, and fragile industries. Major companies are downsizing, banks are struggling to remain solvent, and governments are facing mounting debts, making the possibility of a large-scale economic collapse feel increasingly plausible. The similarities between the plot of the episode and real-world events are disquieting.
Country is broke? How can that be? Well, remember when the last administration decided to invest in our nation's...
As Lisa grappled with the challenge of restoring stability, today's leaders are tasked with navigating global financial upheaval, unleashed by the political unrest and economic disruption that brought down Lisa's world. The Simpsons' portrayal of the economy collapsing is a grim reminder of how easily financial systems can collapse under pressure. Against a backdrop of rising inflation and unemployment, this forecast reads like a cautionary parable whose moral is that economic resilience requires a delicate balance in an unpredictable world. Disney acquiring Fox. At the time, it seemed like nothing more than a playful jab at Disney's growing entertainment empire. However, this joke became reality nearly 2 decades later. In 2017, Disney officially acquired 21st Century Fox in a $71 billion deal. This major acquisition gave Disney access to Fox's extensive catalog of films and television series, including The Simpsons itself, making the iconic animated show a part of the Disney family. This acquisition had repercussions that stretched well beyond ownership. By absorbing Fox's massive library and audiences, Disney secured its dominance in the entertainment industry, especially as it pertains to streaming services. The deal enabled Disney to leverage content from both firms, vastly extending its subscriber base and global reach. A punchline, satirical or otherwise, became one of the biggest business deals in media history, serving to bolster The Simpsons' reputation as a soothsayer of annoying accuracy for what pop culture and global business may have in store. Video calls. In the 1995 Simpsons episode, Lisa's Wedding, the show envisioned a futuristic world where Lisa communicates with her family through a video call. At the time, video calling seemed like a far-fetched concept, existing only in science fiction and futuristic fantasies.
Whoa, puberty!
However, fast forward to 2025, and video calls have become an integral part of daily life. Platforms like Zoom, FaceTime, and Google Meet have revolutionized communication, making it effortless to connect with people across the globe. What was once an imaginative scene in The Simpsons is now a reality, with video calling playing a vital role in work, education device. Indeed, that vision has become a reality today too, with the advent of smartwatches that empower users to use their wrists to make calls, send messages, and perform numerous more tasks. These technologies have already progressed considerably by 2025, with features such as virtual backgrounds and live captions that create an immersive experience. The Simpsons' uncanny predictions of the new capabilities emerging from nascent pieces of technology reflect how what was once a gag about futuristic devices has become a part of 21st century basic life, forever altering the nature of our communication. The final prediction in this list is the crown jewel of them all. You don't want to miss this. Humans moving to Mars. In a memorable Simpsons episode, Lisa and Marge set off on a mission to Mars, a storyline that was equal parts comedy and sci-fi fantasy. Lisa was eager to embark on a new adventure, while Marge reluctantly joined to keep her daughter safe. At the time, the concept of ordinary people heading to Mars seemed purely fictional, but as 2025 approaches, the notion is edging closer to reality. SpaceX, led by Elon Musk, has been making with reusable rockets and plans for crewed missions to the Red Planet. Volunteers have already stepped forward, ready to leave Earth behind and take part in this groundbreaking endeavor, echoing the adventurous spirit portrayed in the show. The Simpsons did not stop at Mars. They humorously suggested even Mars would not appease humanity's thirst for exploration when Lisa started looking toward Venus after settling on the Red Planet.
To establish a human settlement on Mars 10 years from today. Soon, a select group of colonists will leave Earth forever.
While interplanetary human expansion beyond the Mars dream might be far away, space technologies are advancing in making possible what was once a dream of colonizing Mars. SpaceX and other concerned organizations are making huge investments in developing habitats, life support systems, and sustainable living solutions for this planet, making human survival on another planet very real and not science fiction, for it will appeal to the core urges of mankind to explore and conquer more. It looks as if the Simpsons were also capable of capturing the technical challenges such a mission might face. Indeed, they managed to get into the emotional and social complexities of leaving Earth behind. In a world very much at the doorsteps of SpaceX preparing for the colonization of Mars, this once absurd tale holds a mirror to our collective aspirations, as well as to that creative impetus pushing humanity into the stars. The light-hearted way the show has about exploring Mars has now turned into a prophetic vision of what will probably soon become one of humankind's greatest achievements. Thanks for watching. If this peek into the eerie world of The Simpsons predictions got you thinking, don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about their 2025 forecast?
Woohoo! Oh, Marge, that's great news!
Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more intriguing content like this, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And hey, don't stop here. Click on the